Hmm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It is the Power Episode 6 review. And look who decided to join in. We got to get this in when the baby is sick. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. For the naysayers that said they wouldn't watch it, it wouldn't be good, it's proven to be a good story. And that's what makes this thing good. This is the wife, Crystal. Say hello to the people.
Hello, and I'm here as long as my child alive allows me to be.
Yeah, because y'all know how Elle is. Y'all usually hear her saying when she wants to come get on the camera. So we are here to knock this out. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe. Turn on notifications. That's very important because I hear so many of you say you're not knowing when I'm going on. You're not getting the notifications. Go in your settings, turn them on. Let's take a little quick preview at what happened this episode. Then we'll break this on down.
We got to get the right jury to put Tariq St. Patrick away.
Exactly. I abhor the violence that comes along with this scourge in our neighborhood.
I don't need to explain to you what I do or why I do it. Not to you, not to any fucking
You
body.
don't wait till Tariq so we can do what? Settle some fucking white folks? We got queens on lock. What do we need them for?
Mm, It pushes mama. That. Ooh, wee, ladies and gentlemen. It was a doozy. I'm still not happy it took that long for them to come back on, but they're back. So they first start this thing off. Name of the episode is Good versus Evil. It should have been sad old stereotypes that we see across America because they start out in the very beginning. Cooper Sacks talking about what Method Man walked into his office wearing. What the hell wrong? What the hell wrong with his outfit? Look at my man outfit. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang.
He said he can pull it off. He can pull it off.
Meth said he can pull it off, but Cooper Sacks can't.
Right.
Now, we pick back up with Cooper Sacks and Meth McLean, ladies and gentlemen. They're conspiring together. They're about to have Tasha on trial. And they don't care about Tasha. They care about Tariq. So basically, McLean is defending Tasha. Cooper Sacks is trying to get Tasha to stay in jail. But what the DNC wants Tasha to stay in jail because they want this thing to go away with her husband. How is this going to implode, honey? Because you already see some of the events going on. You see these two bickering about their outfit. This is not Cooper Sacks. This is punk ass Nancy Cooper Sacks.
I mean, whenever you have Cooper Sacks involved in anything, you know something is going to go wrong because he's just a screw up.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that far ahead, but yeah, it is going to implode, and it's probably going to be his fault.
I mean, the difference in the two is as simple as Cooper Sacks. One of the things that they're having to do this episode is talk about the trial. And this trial, they want to get a jury so they can get a mistrial, or at least that's what McLean wants. And the difference in the two in their style and their approach is you see this board where Cooper Sacks is going old school. The board got people on it.
Right.
And my man, Meth McLean, pulls out his iPad and has his people on the jury, which just goes to show the difference in these two individuals.
Right.
And you know at some point in time, Nancy punk ass Sacks is going to drop the ball. You know, he's going to definitely drop the ball.
No, you said McLean doesn't care about Tasha. He cares about getting Tasha off.
No. He cares, well.
Or is it for his rep?
For him, a win is even a mistrial this time. And you saw him and his private investigator arguing. She was like, that's not the McLean I know. She was saying the McLean I know wants to win, not go for a mistrial.
So why is he settling for a mistrial?
The money involved that he's going to get paid. And I guess to keep his reputation the way it is. I mean, and the backhand deal he's made with Cooper Sacks. But you got to think that these two individuals should know, if y'all so dirty to make a backhand deal with each other, why won't you as individuals stab each other in the back?
Right.
So I guess
I just think I'm missing something, like why why McLean is so easy to cut a deal with Cooper Sacks and undercut his own client.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with Tasha and them have been lying to him.
But that's still your client.
It don't matter. All he cares about is win or his reputation. That's all he cares about. That's his number one issue. And so we'll come back to them in a minute. Now, my folk out there, Muchella and the crew, I really don't want to talk about Professor Carey, but I know y'all gonna talk about her anyway. And in this episode, they had it where Professor Carey is in the class talking about two philosophers, and one of them was philosopher named Locke.
Uh-huh.
Now, on my channel, they love to run this joke on me by holding up locks and keys with Professor Carey, talking about she's moist and locks and keys and all that stuff.
Okay.
You know. Now, thank goodness they didn't show her in no Zeke scene so that y'all can leave me alone about that. But when they had the scene where Tariq was in class with Lauren and the girl that you said is from YouTube, I don't know her name, and they was debating death. Good versus evil and death. What did you think was the point in them having that even in this? You have the white girl saying that the white girl and the black dude on that side of the class saying that people don't know that death can be good. And you have Tariq and this other girl over here. Tariq didn't have anything to do, but the other girl arguing that death is bad. What do you think was the point of that whole conversation?
I thought they were talking more so about people's innate characters,
Right.
Either being are people naturally good or are they naturally bad?
Right.
I don't know. I guess it's showing that there may be a conflict within. There's a blurred line. Tariq never answered the question. He never said whether he was good or bad. I think because he's lived quite a bit and seen quite a bit and saw that good people do bad things and bad people do good things.
And I think, that's what Tariq wound up saying to Lauren, because Lauren wanted to know why didn't he answer the question too. And basically because he said he's seen a lot. He's seen a lot of things happen. He's lived through some things. And I think that was the merit of his argument right there. And I think that's what their parallel they want us to understand from that scene was Tariq, in essence, is the individuals they're talking about, those philosophers. He's kind of both of them. He understands, good. He understands evil. He understands why people have a pathway to do both. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are one or the other one. It's just sometimes the way life throws it at you, you go down that road. So I think that was the parallel for that. But then they go back to Cooper Saxe and McClane. They go to the scene with them picking the jury.
Cooking the books, cooking the jewelry.
Golly. And they talk about this guy right here. He was the first one that was accepted. Now, this is the guy who's been working on Power since season 1. He does the Spanish dialect. And he was Dr. Somebody up here. And under normal circumstances, in a case like this, you wouldn't want him to be up there because he's probably going to side with someone like Tasha. He's going to feel like Tasha had been railroaded, whatever. And did you see the look on the judge's face when?
Yeah, she knew something was up.
The judge knows something.
You're right.
The judge knows something.
Now the question is, are they going to get caught in the end for doing something like this? Because the judge know that they're up to something, and is it going to come back to bite them in the butt?
We'll see. But they got the jury they wanted.
Right.
And then on the pathway to getting the jury they want, look who they go after. Our man, his government name is Francis Johnson. And me and Larry been telling y'all from day one, 2 Bits coming back. Courtney Kemp ain't going to have her boyfriend not getting no check. And he comes back. Cooper Saxe is trying to get him to take the stand to basically throw Tasha under the bus. He's not going to do that. He said he ain't no snitch and all this and that. First of all, he said he ain't getting on the stand, period. Then Meth McClane steps in and basically gives him a black person pep talk and said, N-word, I'm trying to get you freedom, blah, blah, blah.
You'll be home by the end of the week.
And you be pushing weight. But Meth McClane also tells him something that I'm sure Cooper Saxe wasn't expecting when he get on the stand, that as long as he gets on the stand, there was some kind of word clause he told him that he could use to not say anything really.
Okay.
And that's what he did in the trial.
Okay.
So he got up there, didn't really say nothing. Now that 2-Bit is back and is basically free, how is he going to play a role going forward? I already told y'all, I thought that at some point in time, 2-Bit and Tariq was going to hook up and become 22-Bit. It never happened last year. I'm back in business now. What you think? What you see happening with 2-Bit?
They sprung this on me, so I didn't think ahead to see what they would do with 2-Bit. But I can see him potentially working with Tariq. But then again, he just kind of sold Tariq down the river by bringing his name up in trial. And Tariq's going to be arrested, so he might not even be an option. Or
right.
So maybe this might be a segue to get Tommy somehow back into the storyline. I don't know if Tommy is coming back on the show, but this may be a way to drum up some more conversation around Tommy.
They're going to use 2-Bit. There's just no way around that. They're going to use him. It's just a matter of how. I don't know. I think with Tommy being such a powerful character in Power, you don't have to add a 2-Bit to Tommy. Wherever Tommy go, and he can start a new crew, and he's going to be the heavy hitter. But I do feel like sometime this season we're going to see Tommy, because when 2-Bit was on the stand, they put a picture of Tommy right in front of him.
Right.
You know, they want us to start connecting some of those dots. But the thing now is 2-Bit is a bit of a hothead. You got Kane, that's a hothead. You got Tariq. I just want to see them somehow or another incorporate 2-Bit being free into the whole game. And the one thing that I remember you was harping on last season, who watches that 2-Bit wearing?
You know what? I thought that was so not shady, but they were being funny. Basically, zooming in on him wearing Ghost watch, walking up out of prison.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, maybe Tariq gonna want the watch.
They just twisted the knife for all of us Ghost fans.
Yeah, but you know something's gonna happen from that. And you saw that they had to invoke Blanca to really, really get 2-Bit to come over the edge and help out, because you see they're still not done with Blanca yet. Right. So what you gonna say?
Can you see them having 2-Bit work with Kane? So Kane, you'll see by the end of the episode, he's kind of like on the outs with everybody. Now here they are bringing 2-Bit in. So will he team up with 2-Bit?
Them two are very similar in their mentality. Maybe. I think 2-Bit is the type that, look, he's out of jail now. He's probably going to want to move some weight. He want to get an organization started. You know, maybe he will. Maybe he'll work with Tariq. I was
going to say the link would be Tariq. So Tariq will have to somehow get back in with Kane. Kane want to stick it to his family, and Tariq could kind of go behind what's her name? Monet's back and work with Kane and 2-Bit to try to take over their empire.
Well, if they do that, where they gonna get product from?
Tariq. So
where's Tariq gonna get product from?
He's working undercover, kind of on the inside with Monet. But
so you saying
he's a double agent.
Funnel in 2-Bit with Tariq and Kane, and they still going to get the product from Monet, and eventually they're going to break off.
Right.
Find them a new. You know what? Tariq did, one of the things they mentioned when they was talking about 2-Bit was how 2-Bit know everything. 2-Bit know about the Italians.
He's smart. Yeah.
The Italians that Tariq and them was working with. It could be a situation where maybe Tariq go back to the Italians, or 2-Bit go back to some of the people that Tommy was getting his product from, which was I think he was getting some from the Italians at one point in time. Right. And then maybe they could start their own empire like that.
Got his connections,
right.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. I like that. Next scene we want to talk about is Monet, Drew, and Kane. Okay, so they're having a little discussion, and Monet is kind of, she's kind of on her horse with Diana and Drew, that they're spoiled. They've, ever since that she didn't introduce them to Stansfield College, they disappear and be gone all the time. So she's going to take them down to their organization where they break down the bricks, count up the money, and put them to work. But before they get out the house, they start talking about folks sleeping with folks. And, they're alluding that Diana slept with Tariq, when really the conversation is around Drew and Everett. Diana took it, and she did not throw Drew under the bus. Do you think that situation is going to explode?
What it highlighted is that Drew is hiding that from Kane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming Kane already knows that Drew is gay, or has that been established yet?
I think we're in the dark about that because I haven't seen anything that indicates to me that Kane knows Drew is really gay.
I can't remember
the mama know
when they take breaks like this.
The mama know.
Yeah,
the mama know.
Yeah,
it's just I don't think Kane is not fully aware of it, But the mama know for sure Drew is gay.
Okay. Well, it lets you know that there's some kind of secrets between them that they're keeping from Kane. That was it. That was the point of that scene. And Kane is in the dark.
Oh Lord. So yeah, they go on down to the trap house, and we'll pick back up on the trap house. Next thing they jump to was Tariq winds up taking Lauren her coat that she left at the classroom or whatever with Professor Carey. And while he's there, Carlton shows up. Carlton, Lauren's boyfriend, shows up, still messing up Tariq's name. It's sooner or later, Tariq gonna be treating that boyfriend like we treat Breonna Taylor. Say my name. He gonna know Tariq's name sooner or later. They done brought Carlton back again. I don't know his real stage name. I'm calling him Carlton.
He don't look like Carlton this time. He looked like a whole different character. I was wondering if this was the same guy.
Why? Because that's because this time he's dressed up. He's not dressed up in a suit and tie and all that.
He ain't trying to impress her parents.
He's got on a watch like he stole from Ghost. He's wearing some kind of a little pro player jacket with little fleece around the neck.
I have to go back and see if it's the same person.
It's the same.
He looked totally different swag.
He looking a little thugged out. You know what I'm saying?
But of course, when he was at dinner with the parents, he looked straight up Carlton. Straight up Carlton. Thanks.
So I've already said this before. He's gonna die. Do you think he's gonna die, or do you think he's just gonna get caught up in the crossfire and get his feelings hurt with Lauren?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh goodness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, he's one of the people on my die list. Keep an eye out for that. Let's get on down here to Miss Riley meets up with Nancy. Now, this shit right here was funny as hell. She's talking to Nancy Cooper Sachs. He wants her to break up with Brayden.
He didn't even know she was in a relationship.
He didn't even know. Not only he wants her to break up, but she turns around and says to him, I'm in love with Brayden. Now, she's already told Cooper Sachs that her sexuality is some weird new thing that us Generation X babies don't know. It was some weird triclopsy or some kind of weird ass new sexual liberation she's into. But now she's found Brayden. She loves Brayden. All right. She reveals that her parents gave Nancy a blow-up doll that he keeps in his closet. Like, man, go get the baby and I'll carry on while you getting the baby. Yeah, I told y'all Munchkin was probably gonna wake up or something. But man, did y'all catch that? Nancy has a blow-up doll in his closet. Damn, Cooper Sachs. I mean, bruh. We already know what's gonna happen with Riley. We predicted this. Riley and Brayden is basically going to be the new Tommy and Holly. That's what's going down. And it's just a matter of over the couple of seasons, how are they going to play Riley? Because she is under the assumption the same way Holly was under the assumption that it was all Ghost. And in this situation, she's thinking it's all Tariq. She's saying that Brayden has nothing to do with whatever Tariq is doing, and she loves him. So the question is, how is this going to end for her, ladies and gentlemen? I don't see how it's going to end well. I don't think it's a way it could end well. And to my folks, CJ32, it's nothing wrong with a blow-up doll, but it's something wrong when your niece is calling you out. How dare her?
Okay. It's something was wrong with me sitting down with the baby and we talking about blow-up dolls.
Well, the baby don't know what kind of blow-up dolls we talking about, do you, baby?
It's a baby doll. It's a Barbie doll.
Yeah, baby. It's that kind of a blow-up doll, baby. That's what we talking about, baby. Shout out to everybody watching this live stream. I'm trying to move through it because I don't want the little baby to get antsy. All right. And so moving on down the road, honey, let's just talk about they go down to the thing where Brayden is in the room. His brother Trace shows up. Brayden is extremely upset that Trace took those drugs.
Right.
I also confirmed and said, ladies and gentlemen, before this thing happened, that Trace was going to die because he took them drugs. He was going to get it. And well, instead of him dying, Kane showed up this episode, and Kane didn't know that Brayden was part of Tariq's organization.
Mm-hmm.
But he walks in when Trace looked like he was beating Brayden's butt.
Right. He's the big brother, of course.
I thought that Brayden was tougher than that.
No, he's the big brother.
Man,
is the big brother.
At some point in time, you got to step up and beat the big brother hind part.
He ain't grew into that yet.
So it was good to me to see Kane walk up in there, put that gun in his face, and get up. But he winds up kidnapping them. And when he kidnapped them, we had already established that Tariq told Brayden, if something ever happens to you, knock over the chessboard. So Tariq kind of already knew what had happened. Right. But Tariq comes home and he finds Riley in his room.
Rummaging around, being nosy.
Now, wouldn't a smart person have told her to leave? A smart drug dealer would have told her to leave.
Mm-hmm. He did.
But she didn't leave.
Uh-huh.
If that had been Ghost, he would have got her butt up out of there.
Uh-huh.
You know? I mean, come on now. Ghost would have got her butt up out of there. It wouldn't even have been a thing with that.
She's very squirrely and likes to hang around. I guess the thing is, though, Tariq don't realize that she's a threat yet. He probably just thinks she's this little pesky girl that's, of course, sniffing around, putting her nose where it don't need to be, but he don't realize how much of a threat she potentially is. Which makes people upset about how they're trying to make his character smart, because she's asked too many questions several times. Right, he's caught her snooping too many times.
Like even in this episode, she highlighted that she drugged him and he didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah, he still didn't get it.
He still ain't get
it.
Which that's why some people are upset that you're trying to speedball this brother to being a drug kingpin when little common stuff he's getting wrong. He don't understand.
Right.
You know, so they start playing chess together, and maybe that's supposed to be something that's going to help them bond, or maybe that they're trying to set this story up in a manner where Tariq kind of likes her, likes the relationship going on with her and Brayden, and eventually when they have to X her, there's a choice to be made. It's going to be more, we'll be more emotionally invested. Ain't that right, honey?
Yeah, I think one thing eventually is I think she's going to crack and end up helping Tariq and Brayden outsmart her aunt.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself calling that man the aunt. You ought to be ashamed of yourself calling that man the aunt. That is a law enforcement man. That is a man of the law. And so as we go on with the story, ladies and gentlemen, Kane kidnaps them, and he didn't tell. This was not instructions from Monet, not instructions from his daddy, not instructions from anybody. He just decided he's going to kidnap them.
Right.
And he's acting out because he's upset that Monet is favoring Tariq.
Right.
So when he kidnaps them, he throws them on the street to sell drugs.
Would you know? I was sweating a little bit for Trace because he wasn't gonna have a good time.
We all sweating for Trace because we knew it wasn't going to be a good situation for Trace. Trace looks like a squirrely little punk who's been entitled and has enjoyed white privilege. He looks like that.
He's trying to flex it around, in their conversation,
but
it ain't doing him no good.
No. And so this is one of the things that got on my nerves. Okay, you throw Brayden on the street. You got this white dude rolling up in what looks to be a predominantly minority neighborhood, talking about he ain't got no phone, he ain't got his money, and he was able to manipulate these black dudes into somewhat instantly trusting him because he pulled out a blunt.
Smoke with him,
Crystal, the stereotypes going on in that situation, and then the fact that they didn't believe that this dude was a cop. They said he was a cop, and he was able to talk that down. Talk about how unrealistic that was.
Right. I mean, I guess we just supposed to roll with it. I guess because they trusted him enough to sit and smoke with him and then buy out his supply. Basically.
What? And Crystal, that is ain't no brothers. First of all, brothers see you coming, they're not gonna talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
If this was the hood back where I come from, they ain't talking to you. They gonna tell you to go about your business. He lucky he ain't get robbed.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he lucky they didn't take his coat and had him walking butt naked in the middle of the
They
street.
basically bought all the stash.
Yeah.
Him and wasn't it other people
What
when
the-
Kane rolled
Come
up
on,
to pick
man.
him up, it looked like they had a whole swap meet out there.
Yeah, like, bro, come on, y'all. Y'all, that was not realistic power. I rocks with y'all, but that was highly unrealistic. I would have liked it better. They would have took him to a white neighborhood. That would have been more realistic than dropping him in the middle of like what, Queens somewhere, thinking that he's doing something. Nah, bro, that wasn't realistic.
Kane was hoping that they got jumped.
Well,
Beat up.
the Trace did.
Yeah, he did. He was hoping the other guy did too. You see that smirk on his face when he pulled off.
Right. Yeah.
So
Kane's starting to look more like Kanan, smirking, doing crazy stuff. He's starting to give me that Kane look. But let's talk about Trace real fast. So Trace, it went down the way Kane wanted it to go. He got beat up, but Kane did let his brother go out there and save him.
Right.
So maybe that'll help ease some of the distrust Kane has with Tariq and Brayden, because he's seen that Tariq know how to pick an organization.
Right.
But I'm interested to see how 2-Bit is going to play into this now, because them two going to bump heads sooner or later, and that is going to be very, very interesting. When that goes down, we're going to be here for it. All right, now then we move on to this. So while Diana and Drew is in the breakdown house, and me and Larry said this on our live stream the other day, who was texting Drew? Well, it was his boyfriend Everett. And you even heard Diana say he thirsty.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, and Drew ain't.
Right.
Drew just as hot in the booty hole as the devil's anus is. He's just as hot.
Okay.
He's just as hot in that booty hole, and he winds up going. He winds up going down there.
Close your ears, Elle.
You don't know. You don't know what any of this stuff is. No, she don't.
Feel it.
No, Elle, you laughing.
Yes.
You ain't feeling nothing.
Yeah.
Tell me she can feel it.
She feels it in her spirit.
What in the world?
Tell him, clean it up, Daddy.
Okay, Elle. Okay, I won't. What? I didn't even use nothing bad. Hot in the booty hole.
Yes.
What's bad about that? That's not even a cuss word. What in the world? Elle, your mama need to quit being
Say clean it up.
nasty.
Next.
That's what she need to quit. But anyway, so Everett, they meet up, they hook up, and I think the significance of what happened with them was Everett is using Tariq's app service,
right,
to get drugs. And Drew finds that out, tells Diana, and
Diana confronts Tariq.
And there she is confronting Tariq. And she was supposed to be going up there to make Drew come back, because the mama know what Drew is up to, and she wants him to come back.
Right.
Diana get her feelings hurt because she liked Tariq.
Yeah, and basically tells Tariq, "I'm gonna tell my mama,"
and she did.
Right.
And Tariq begged her not to do it, but see, Tariq messed up trust with her then because she knew somebody was in his room.
Right.
And she's thinking that it's Lauren, and it's really not. And Tariq don't want her to know who's in there because he's trying to keep things private. And all the while, she's in denial that she's got feelings for this boy. How do you think the situation is gonna end up? Because Drew likes Tariq, it seems like. Seems like Drew like him, Diana like him, but her heart is involved. And she's ready to throw him under the bus. And you heard the conversation she had with Monet. How is it gonna end with Diana and Tariq?
Probably however Tariq wants it to end. It seems like she kind of toughened up and said she kind of done with him or blowing him off. But I'm sure if Tariq wants to get with her, she'll get with him. She's thirsty too, unfortunately.
She a thirst bucket. Yeah, she is.
Talking about her brother. I think she's the same way.
She thirsty. She need a drink of Gatorade. That's what she needs. A drink of that Gatorade to save her. Then we move on to Officer Rico Suave. Did y'all think we was going to forget about Rico Suave, officer? So there was a scene, and you picked it out, when we saw them pan away from the Land Rover Kane is driving. And you was like, who's looking at him?
Right.
Well, the person that was looking at him was Officer Rico Suave. And he had highlighted that somehow another phone call got made, yada, yada, yada. But he was there, Johnny on the spot.
Right.
Him and Kane get into a back and forth about who's really and truly running the organization. And in the end, it's just like Rico said. Your father is running everything from inside.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think is going through Kane's head? Because Kane is not happy about this. What do you think? Because Kane, first of all, Kane is mad about Tariq.
Right.
He's mad about Monet. He's bucking the system. What is going on with Kane? And Kane don't like old Rico Suave either.
Because he know he messing with Monet.
Right.
I don't know. Kane is just trying to keep his position. He wants to be in charge of things, but he's a hothead, so they're not giving him that liberty.
Right.
He just wants to keep his position, basically. He don't want to read in none of their business. And I think he's going to end up getting, well, he did get desperate.
I think the issue with Kane is Kane wants he wants more responsibility. Kane is kind of like Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like Tommy. Like he think he's smarter than what he is. And then when he gets upset, he go doing these random tangent events to try to prove that he's smart.
Right.
You know, and like Monet said, Monet is telling all them, look, Tariq is making us money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because even Diana snitching on Reed thought that the mama was going to be ready to throw Tariq under the bus. She was like, no, he's making us money. I don't care how he's doing it. He's making us that money. And that's what she wanted Kane to realize. And he ain't trying to hear it. It even got so heated with them. Kane goes back home after he meets with Rico Suave. Rico Suave called Monet and say, you know, I caught Kane doing whatever. Kane gets upset enough that he put hands on his mama.
By mistake.
That won't by no mistake.
By mistake.
That
I don't
by
think
no,
he
that
was.
won't by no
So
mistake.
Diana grabbed him. He pushed Diana off of him.
Uh-huh.
And Monet touched him from the other side.
And then he flung her.
He didn't really. Yeah, I think it was kind of like by mistake on purpose.
See, and that brings up another issue.
It was by mistake on purpose.
That brings up another issue that a lot of women go through that are single women that have sons when they get to be that age, when they get to be our fight back age. And Monet is going through it. I literally thought this was going to be the moment Monet was going to whip out her gun and be like, boy, I'm still your mama. But she didn't. And we'll get to how she handled the situation.
He reached down to help her up. Because I guess he had even if he did it on purpose.
He did it on purpose.
He had realized the error of his ways and tried to make right about it.
Right.
But I still think it was like, he was just in the heat of the moment and didn't realize what he did until he saw her on the ground.
But Crystal, if your mama is if you are bears and your mama is a bear and you knock her down and then you reach your hand down there to pick her up, you know, she's probably going to maul your arm off.
Well, she practically did. She slapped it out the way. And what about the other kids? Do you think it's realistic that they would have just stood there and watched her? What they would have? If Drew wasn't,
well, Diana tried to get involved, like you said.
What about the
Drew.
If Drew would have pushed Monet down, Kane would have been all over him. Probably.
Yeah, would have been all over him.
So Kane pushed Monet down, and Drew is just like, is it because he don't rock with Kane like that? I don't know.
I think Drew's just a little soft.
Okay.
You know, I mean, what else can we say? Diana tried to get involved more than Drew did.
Right.
You know, Diana seemed like she'll ride or die. Drew he's in love. That's all I can say. Drew's in love. So then we get on to the shenanigans of this case, ladies and gentlemen, the trial. The trial for Tasha St. Patrick Green.
It's one place thing you missed in the car when a police officer was trying to get the brothers. Did that happen already?
Rico Suave?
Yeah. When he tried to get the brothers to forget that incident ever happened.
Oh, yeah.
And so you still had a power struggle between Trace and Brayden, where Trace wanted to say something, still trying to throw weight behind his name. Mm-hmm. And Brayden is telling him, shut up, you don't know what you're dealing with. Right. Just act like it ain't happening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Trace is gonna die. There's no way around this. And Rico Suave is right to tell Kane what he told him. He was like, look, they are a powerful family. And he told Monet the same speech. Rico Suave told Monet, you do not want the police sniffing around what's going on with Brayden and Trace because of the name of the family. Their family got weight in New York. And if you get the police involved with them, it's going to mess up and make your organization more difficult. Mm-hmm. So At the end of the day, I'm starting to like Officer Rico Suave. He seems like he's loyal. He's helpful. I don't like the way Monet letting him run up and down in her rivers and then just treating them dirty. But I mean, hey, he signed up for that. He know what he's getting into. Then we get the 2-Bit on the stand, ladies and gentlemen. And I know a lot of y'all had your popcorn ready for this one because you ain't know what was going to happen. Well, 2-Bit gets up there. He ain't helping out Nancy. 2-Bit ain't helping Nancy out not one bit. No. And he's even up there acting like he don't even know Tasha. And then they bring in the fact that he's helped Tariq at one point in time, trying to get him to say a little bit more in favor of Tasha being a queen pin. And he held face and basically told him, look, I'm on the stand, but clause whatever it was, says as long as I get on the stand, you got to give me what y'all promised me. And he ain't snitch on nobody. Right. And then McClain cross-examined him and got basically for him to say what he needed him to say. And then in the end, 2-Bit gets out. We see 2-Bit leaving the jailhouse with that look on his face, looking down.
Checking his ghost watch.
Checking down ghost watch. And y'all know they did not put that in there for nothing. And the last important point we're going to cover, then we're going to get out of here because old Munchkin over here is just like, what you doing? Is this scene right here. Lorenzo talking to his son and telling his son he needs to just fall back and learn from Monet. Fall back and learn. And me and one of my subscribers who hit me today, so shouts out to that subscriber who believed in my conspiracy and helped me form the conspiracy. We saw Kane getting beat up, and we said it was going to be because of his daddy. And we now know why he got beat up, because of his daddy. So after he gave him that pep talk and said, you need to follow Monet's orders, we see him order the police officers to lock him in a room, turn off the cameras, and persist to whipping his ass bloody bad. And we said, in order for them to beat up Kane, it had to be some tough Negroes. And in this scene right here, he done got beat up by the police. The daddy walking in there with Timberland boots. What jail cell let dudes walk around with Timberland boots?
Those ain't Timberland boots.
Those are Timberland boots the daddy walking
like some beat up gym shoes.
Them ain't no gym, them is boots.
I gotta go back and see.
Yeah. And then they pan in on him, Kane with the bloody mouth. He looks down on him and say, don't you put your hands on my wife ever again.
Yeah.
So having said all that, what is this going to do for Kane? Is Kane going to fall back in order? Is he going to be ready to rebel?
I don't think Kane falling back in order.
I don't either.
Kane was basically about to make a plan to go off on his own.
Probably, and he might link up with 2-Bit.
Right.
He might form his own organization, but here's the problem. Kane is like Tommy. He's not that smart.
Do you think Monet is going to be dealing with him?
Dealing with
Kane from this point forward. She smacked his hand out her face.
Well, because Monet called the daddy and told the daddy probably to get Kane. Yeah, she'll deal with him.
Yeah, she needs him as a strong arm.
Yeah, she needs his discipline. You know, that's why you keep a man at the house so he can lay down that law. Pat, pat, pat. Lay it down. But the question is, Kane is now, he becomes a fly in the ointment. That's what Kane becomes, because we don't know what he's going to do. He's probably going to want to start his own organization. He might link up with 2-Bit. They've done a good job of leaving a lot of room for characters to adjust, change, and become dynamic. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pretty good episode. It
shouldn't take that. It shouldn't have been that long of a pause.
No, nobody should do that.
It's making me lose interest in the series, honestly. I mean, it was a good series when it first started, and now it's lost its momentum for me. I have to get back into it. You got to get back into it. But as soon as you get back into it, it's going to be going off. I will say this episode wasn't, I guess, packed enough for me to be like gung-ho powered with 2.
Right.
It's just, okay, it's back on. Let's see what's happening.
I think this was a good enough episode with what they did. Putting 2-Bit into the series was probably the crescendo for this episode. And that was enough to keep fans on the drip.
Yeah, I guess that was supposed to be there.
Right.
We back.
Yeah, that was enough to keep fans on the drip. Because some of us was hoping it was going to be Tommy. But ladies and gentlemen, here to tell you, Tommy's still going to come back. Episode 9, they're probably going to have him come back in some capacity. What 2-Bit did is what I thought they was going to do with Tommy. Put Tommy on the stand and have a way for him to weasel out of it. But ladies and gentlemen, leave me all your comments. I want to thank everybody that has come in here and watched us on this live. I will post this across the social media blogosphere, and we will be coming back, hopefully, if we can stay awake. And we're gonna do a Shameless, the TV show, quick something to talk about that. It ain't gonna be as long as Power, but we'll come and let you know what we feel about Shameless once we can get the child to bed and just kind of talk about how we feel about Shameless. So shout out to Nita the Diva, CJ32, all my folk that came and checked this out, all 200 and something of y'all.
The only thing is kids have a tendency to know when you up to something.
Yeah,
So
they
as
do.
soon as we put
Like
it in
this,
bed,
like this chick, what, 20 minutes and then she woke up. So just be on the lookout for our review of Shameless season 11, episode 1, sometime tonight. It'll be 10-minute quick rendezvous, and we'll see you guys then. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll be back next week and in a little bit.
Right.
Yep. All right, Elle, you want to tell them goodbye? You want to tell the people goodbye? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have y'all noticed how this baby got this fierce haircut, like a mohawk and a rat tail? She was born like that. We ain't cut her hair. She was born like that.
She got a duck tail in the back.
Yep.
And a mohawk fade on top.
Right. Oh, baby. That means she's going to be something special. And until that Net Sex is Hell video, we'll see you.